Now, Tiara said she already, she kind of knew it was back and forth. I knew it was back and forth. What about you? How do you think we should be more upfront with our children?
No, I don't think that you should have children worried about finances in the home because they feel responsible and they take that on. I've seen that firsthand. But I do think, you know what I mean, you should educate your kids about, you know, why we're not going to McDonald's instead of just saying we don't have McDonald's money. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Talk to them about what it means to budget, you know, how to preserve some finances. There's a lot of things that, like I'm listening to your story. I mean, that sounds very familiar. There's a lot of things that I wish I would have known as a teenager. I wish somebody would have pulled me inside and educated me and just telling me that we can't afford this all the time. You know what I mean? Because what happens is you develop all these unmet needs and they just become open wounds. So you spend your adult life trying to satisfy your childlike self, your the younger version of you, and you just make all these bad decisions trying to catch up on all the things that you couldn't afford when you were a kid, not understanding that, instead of spending our money on McDonald's, maybe we could put this towards a trip or an asset or things that I just didn't understand as a child. So I really I don't want to say I don't like to speak in terms of regret, but there are things that I really would have appreciated knowing. Um,
Right. Instead of just the answer of we don't have it, why not turn it into a lesson, which I think is a very smart thing. That is what I did with, my husband and I did with our son. We showed the options. Okay, this is what we're saving up for. We had like little goal things on the wall where we would color in things like we want to take a trip to Disneyland. And so, and then they become a part of, hey, I want to contribute to that too. Or, why am I doing the extra chores? Well, we want to go to Disneyland, right? So why didn't we go out to a dinner this week? Well, we want to go to Disneyland. So I think that you definitely can turn that into a very good learning lesson. But let's check out some stats because it's also important to back up a lot of things so that we can understand what we're talking about. So let's check out a couple of these. A study by T. Rowe Price found that 65% of parents say they avoid talking about money with their children, even though 75% of kids say they want to know more about personal finance. These kids nowadays really want to know some stuff, right? According to a 2023 survey by the National Endowment for Financial Education, 70% of parents feel that they should teach their children about money, but only 30% actually follow through on it. Let's stop there
Mm.
because that's important.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very important. They want to, but there's a big gap between actually doing it. Tira, why do you think that is?
It's the energy, right? It's having energy as you're trying to get through it and figure it out, right? It's like then you turn to your children and say, okay, it just it's it requires a bit of energy, right? It requires time and space and all of that. So let me just back up for a second. I think so. My daughter and her father have very my daughter my myself and I'm sorry, myself and her father have very different outlooks on the way we teach Lauren finances, right? I'm always trying to get Lauren to create products. I want her to be an entrepreneur. I want her to be not to feel like she always has to be in a place to look at you, be in a place, like be in an office to earn money, or be on a set to earn money somewhere where she has to go and spend 16, 18 hours just to receive a check. I feel like if I can teach her how to just make it while she's at home on a Monday morning, that would be ideal for me.